People's Democratic Party's 102nd National Executive Committee meeting has resolved to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to the south while retaining the existing National Working Committee zoning formula for the November elective convention. Recall that during the 2023 elections, the PDP threw its presidential ticket open, leading to the emergence of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as its candidate. However, some southern leaders, led by then River State Governor and now FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, opposed him over what they saw as an unfair power-sharing arrangement for the South. After PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba declared the zoning arrangement, he added that the NEC also expressed satisfaction over the level of preparedness of the PDP's various organs, chapters and structures for the 2025 elective national convention scheduled for Ibadan in Oyo State capital on Saturday 15th to Sunday 16th November 2025. Joining us on the show to discuss the zoning arrangements, the party's preparations ahead of its 2025 elective national convention and 2027 elections in view is Debo Ologunagba, PDP National Publicity Secretary. Good morning, Mr. Ologunagba, and you're most welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Ayo. Nice to be here.
Mr. Ologunagba, it's good to see you after the storm. How do they say it? Après la guerre, after the war. There are two things.
Thank you, Doctor. Nice to be here, too.
Two quick things.
You call this a storm, we call this a challenge.
Well, we had
yes.
former Governor Suswan, now Senator Suswan, on this program. He said the PDP was in ICU and that a lot will depend on whether the next meeting will hold and whether the National Convention will hold. Now, in your own assessment, is a party, your party, now out of the intensive care unit, and how? Number two, some people have described the decision taken at the 102 NEC meeting as the vindication of Nyesom Wike, now that there is zoning to the south and the party, more or less, will seem to have also decided to make Damagum a confirmed chairman of the party. Some people say this is the vindication of Wike, and it shows that Nyesom Wike is a main authority in the People's Democratic Party. Do you agree? And if not, why?
Thank you, Dr. Abasi. It's nice to be here. Welcome back. I've been around for a while.
Thank you.
My brother, Rufai, good morning to you all.
Sir. Good to see you.
Again, thank you very much. Dr. Abati, those premises so interesting. You talk about ICU, you talk about a person. But let me make a background to you. That the People's Democratic Party is about the People's Democratic Party, and no one individual is above that party, and no one individual owns that party. But I haven't put that premise right, but let me get back to the first comment about what Senator, the former governor of Benue State said, Suswan, that the PDP was in ICU. The party was never in ICU. Do we have challenges? Yes, we do. Just like every human organization or every human being we do. But what came out from all the recent recalibration of the party is the fact that this party has capacity at the appropriate time to come back up and sort its own internal affairs. And that tells you the capacity of any organization that is worth its name, that in challenging period, you can't step back and reorganize yourself, and that's what the PDP is doing. And that's why Nigerians are so excited about what's happening within the PDP. We have the organs, we have the bodies, we have members that are determined to ensure that democracy does not fail in this country and that we don't slip into a one-party state. And that's what you saw in the recent past and what is going to be up to the convention about the capacity of the PDP to, at appropriate time, step up the plate and do that which is right. Secondly, when you talk about vindication of an individual, what the party has done, like you said, that hindsight is 2020. As a party after 2023 elections and the challenges that came up with it, what we have done is to review our processes, speak to ourselves, find out where we were, what caused it, and like a post-mortem. And what we're trying to do is to prevent those things that have happened in the past. And we're filling the gaps and filling reviewing the process of our party over the last 3 years. And we're saying to ourselves, let's do that which is right. Particularly against the background of the world that hindsight is 2020. So no one individual. The institution that has been justified is the PDP. Its capacity to look inward and say to itself, yes, there's certain things we probably would have done differently. And now we're doing that differently so that the unity you're finding and you're seeing revealing in the party and all its membership and all organs is here. We are excited with the kind of reception and the interest Nigeria have in our party because indeed Nigeria knows and they've realized that the only party that can truly get the country out of the wood is the PDP. One, because of its capacity in trying times to come up. Secondly, because of the followership across the country, because in every unit in this country, there's a PDP member, at least 10 in every unit. You can't say that about too many other parties. We are united, we are together, we're moving forward for the National Convention at Ibadan on the 15th and 16th of November 2025. And what is interesting that every stakeholder, every organ of the party, the Governors Forum, the NWC, the BOT, the chapters, we're all united. And that's why we have looked into one direction and say, yes, let's maintain the status quo, let's begin to rebuild, and we're doing that, and we're satisfied with the kind of feedback we're getting from Nigerians.
If you could just quickly address the second question. There's a second leg to that question.
Which is
yes. Yeah, the second leg of the question.
To the extent that an individual has been justified. Yes, the second leg was that an individual has been justified, and I said no. That this party actually is the party that is justified because... No, I am saying no individual is vindicated. If anything, it is the party that has come around. Having regard to what I just said about hindsight is 2020. And when you have reviewed your processes and you have need to make adjustment, you make the adjustment. And we have done just that, proudly so, and in unison. That's so glorifying an individual, as I said from the premise. This is people's democratic party. And I hate to talk about individuals. I want to talk about this party. Right. And I think let's put this conversation on an individual, or not an individual, but on the party, right. Democracy, what the party represents, and what we're doing right now. I think that should be the focus in my own estimation, and not an individual. All
right. But certain statements, I get your point with not focusing on an individual, but certain statements by even some prominent members of your party, Senator Abamoro, minority leader, Senate minority leader, has said that, with the benefits of hindsight, it was an error to have fielded Atiku, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, as your presidential candidate in 2023 election, and that it was a disastrous loss to the PDP as a result of that decision. So it's not just Mr. Wike. But beyond that, there are also some people who now don't agree with the decision to zone to the north. Further, again, talking about the divisions within the party, there's a group called under the North Central Zone, North Central Renaissance Movement. And they say they rejected the PDP zoning ticket of your 2027 ticket to the south, saying that the North Central has not produced a president, or you've not produced a candidate yet. And so perhaps you should have still left it open. I'd like to know what you think about that. And then very quickly, I want you to also speak about the disciplinary committee. We were hopeful that perhaps we'd get a report on the activities and maybe some announcements in areas of punishment or consequences for erring members, but nothing of that sort came out. Should we still be expectant? Are we still going to have some kind of consequence for people who worked against the party in the last election, or who are even still working against the party as we speak?
Thank you very much, Ayo. Number one, on the basis of comments and some from your reporting about some disagreement. The beauty of democracy is the fact that people disagree, but the capacity of any political party to bring people within this fold to speak to each other is what is important. That is very, very the bedrock of the PDP. Because it's a democracy, because it's a party that allows for various views to be canvassed on any issue. So we're welcoming of that. But I can tell you that what you heard yesterday about those comments, probably today will not be. Because we're constantly talking and speaking to ourselves and saying, look, we have a political party. We have the interests of Nigerian people at heart. We want this democracy to succeed. We were welcoming to every views and all shapes and manner. But of course, we discuss. Where we were about 6 months ago is not where we are today. That tells you the capacity of this party. And I think that should be the takeaway from all this conversation. People will speak, they air their views, we will get back to the table, we will have the conversation, we'll talk about the interests of Nigeria beyond region or persons, and that is what we should take away. Secondly, on the issue of discipline, a political party is not just about you give this, you do this. It's about negotiation. In the last 3 years, you have been witnesses and you have been experiences and witnessing what we're going through in terms of our capacity to try and create a room for all of us to have conversation. We've done several of that at different levels, several committees, trying to bring, because the idea of a political party is not about, oh, you give, you punish just at any point. However, about 3 weeks ago, we as a party, after reviewing all of the situation, decided to say, you know what? There's a time to say enough. We are at that point, and we have issued a reprimand to every member of this party. Membership of a political party is free. There's a free entry, there's a free exit. And we believe that at that point, if you're a member of a political party that is governed by a constitution and you subscribe to obey the constitution, if there are things that are inconsistent with that constitution, and we as a party have said, again, we've looked into all of this, we think it is time to say, let's roll up our sleeves and begin to work for the Nigerian people through our party, ensuring that democracy survives. We believe that if you're truly a member of that party and you subscribe to those constitutional provisions, you must obey. And we are at that point. We want to look forward. We don't want to look backward. And I think, having said all of that, and having given the reprimand, we'll expect that every member of this party will follow suit, and we expect that they will do that because that is the essence of democracy and for membership of any political party. So that's where we are right now.
Okay, but we cannot look forward without looking backward. And I'd like to be very charitable to your political party today, because I was part of those that said it was dead, that it was in coma. There are stages of coma. You have coma, unresponsive. Then you have vegetative coma. Then you have mild response coma. Your party is currently in vegetative coma. But the interesting thing about being in a vegetative state is that you can be in a vegetative state, you're aware of your surroundings, but you can't respond and you can't move on. And this is why I say that. The Wike factor is still there. And I'd like to ask you some questions. Number one, he said your party did not inform him or send him a letter for the NEC that happened. What's your take on that? Did you send him a letter? Secondly, he also said in another interview that he doesn't know about this convention coming up. In fact, some of the people that follow him in the South say this is a little bit hasty for them, and they have given some conditions before now. And I would like to talk about people, because people make your party. And he said he funded your party a lot when your party was in dire straits. I'm not sure that there's been any refund to all the money he spent on the party. And lastly, why have you not been able to discipline Mr. Nyesom Wike? He gets away with everything in the party.
Thank you, Rufai. Let me thank you and commend you for the analysis, because your background in science is able to make you almost a doctor, talk about coma, the stages of coma. But I tell you, the party was never in coma. I can tell you that straight up. Do we have challenges? Yes, we do. We do, and we still do, but we're following through and solving our problems methodically in a democratic way. This is not a command structure. Because it's not a one-party state, it's not owned by one individual. You're going to have different views, different ideas, different comments, and you try to ensure that you bring all of these contestation of views and ideas together and have a party properly so-called. Again, I've struggled not to go into personal issues. However, straight to your points, this party is based on organization and processes. And we have strived very strenuously to follow those processes. Leading to this new arrangement of the National Convention, which is elective and has been scheduled for Ibadan on the 15th and 16th of November 2025, every organ of this party, every stakeholder were informed and they were invited. Specifically, let me address the issue of Minister Wike. He was invited as a member of the NEC, and the letter was duly received and acknowledged in his office, duly stamped. And so, to be disingenuous to say that he was never invited, that would not be true. Secondly, the notice was published in the national dailies, about 3 or 4 of them. Again, it's elementary in law that when a public advertisement and advertorial is made, it is a notice to the whole world. So there are 2 levels of notice to him. So I think that's why I said I want to de-emphasize these facts. Secondly, when there was a consultative meeting from the South, the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Shinda Kingsley, was invited. His seat was at the table. He didn't show up. You can't force people to come for a meeting. And so it will not be correct for people to come to the public space, particularly for a public office holder. The minimum you owe the public is to say the truth. Yes, you were invited, then you couldn't attend. You can say, yes, I couldn't attend, but to say you were not invited will be clearly not true, because that was not what happened. With the issue about discipline, which keep coming up, I have said, and I agree with you, you can't move forward without looking backward. It is now looking backward that I reference the fact that 2020 is hindsight. That if you have issue and you have a opportunity of a do-over, you are more likely going to get 20/20. But having said that, we want to laser focus on the future, realizing what has happened in the past. It is in that spirit that the NEC, in his wisdom, after all consideration, after all negotiation, after all discussions and consultation, that we came with the position to say, you know what, let's stabilize the party, maintain the positions in the north, and maintain the positions in the south, and consistent with the founding fathers' principle that the presidential candidate of the party should go to the south. Again, this is a preponderance of consultation. When you do an opinion poll, it is to find the gauge. Our party have done a lot of that, and we're satisfied with where we are today. We're set for Ibadan, or the train figuratively has arrived in Ibadan, and all the arrangement, all the venue, the logistics, the security arrangement are ongoing as I speak. So we are set to go. This is a new party. Again, I must thank Nigerians, through you, that we're happy and excited about the interest. The only reason Nigerians are interested in the PDP because they know the capacity of this party. They remember with nostalgia the 16 years of productive democracy and the opportunity for the pursuit of happiness in this country, where your institution and I as a family can make plan and budget. And so that's for us, we are satisfied with that. We thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Mr. Ologunagba, we'll get you very quickly. But permutations, I use that word advisedly, that the PDP has now arrived at. Now, what are the plain term meanings? The chairmanship obviously now has been zoned to the south, to the north. The presidential candidate will have to come from the south. Now, some people say, look, all of this is just calculations to make sure that the ticket is given either to President Jonathan or to Mr. Seyi Makinde or to Mr. Peter Obi, who has not even said anything about whether he's returning to the PDP or not. So what's the direction? And Damagum, of course, has been made chairman, so he can preside over the convention. After that, he will leave. Somebody else will become chairman.
Yes.
So please, tell us about this,
yes.
Jonathan Obi Makinde game. Very briefly, in less than a minute.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. And with this, I like the word permutation. I don't know who the analysts are. As a party, two things is not clear right now. We focus on setting the party on a very strong foundation, which is to have a seamless, successful national convention, which of course we're going to have from all the indication, from all the support we're getting. Secondly, let me speak to this. Today, this party is peopled by very credible, exceedingly qualified individuals among the rank of governors from their performances that any of them who throws in and shows interest to contest the presidency is ready and available to step on the plate and become president with all the qualifications and all the achievement behind them. But having said that, this party is willing to work with every Nigerian. When you reference President Jonathan is still a member of this party because he has not resigned. Mr. Obi is a president candidate in the last election for another political party. He has not indicated as joining the party. So for me, it will be improper for me to begin to comment on that. What I can comment on is our capacity, even as we stand, that we have exceedingly qualified individuals. And you mentioned specifically Governor Makinde. Of course, that's one of our poster boys in this party in terms of performances, our capacity, in terms of being able to galvanize Nigerians, and people see that promise in the country, in that individual. So for us, we have in the party today very eminently qualified Nigerians and governors who are performing, and Nigeria can recognize that the PDP states remains oasis of development centers in this country.
All right.
From Taraba to Bauchi to Zamfara to Bayelsa to Oyo, these are flagship states, and you can do the peer review mechanism for this for parties in this country.
Mr. Ologunagba, yes, we'll
which of the governors are doing well, and you can say it. We can take it to the bank that PDP is doing exceedingly well.
All right, I wish we could take you up on that and really dissect it.
Thank you for the opportunity to be able to say that.
But we're out of time. I wish we could actually dissect the states where the PDP governors are leading and really fact-check your statement about them doing excellently well. Well, thank you so much for your time with us this morning. We look forward to having you back again on the morning show.